How much do you know now, compared to when you first started aquascaping? In my case, I learn new things every day. This is truly a beautiful hobby. In today's video, I'll go over 5 aquascaping facts that I know now that have made me a better aquascaper and fish keeper. Fact number 1. Aquasoil has a high CEC. CEC stands for cation exchange capacity. And to put it simply, it's the soil's ability to absorb nutrients from the water column. When you first buy an active substrate, the substrate itself has nutrients in it. But these nutrients will run out in about 6 or 7 months. That is, of course, if it has a low cation exchange capacity. In the case of aquasoil, it's quite high. So when you add nutrients to the water, like potassium and such, the soil will absorb these nutrients and slowly release them for the plant roots. That's why you never want to cover the soil with anything that will prevent the fertilizers from getting to it. Sand is a good example of this. A little bit of sand is fine, but if you cover the soil with 1 or 2 inches of sand, you might be dooming your soil to be useless in about 6 months. I'm only saying this for aquasoil because of the high CEC. This doesn't apply if you're using something like organic potting soil. You do want to cover that with sand to keep the water clean and to prevent algae problems. Fact number 2. KH, pH, and CO2 relationship. This relationship is simple but extremely important. You could build many successful aquariums without knowing this relationship. But at some point, you might start having problems and not understanding why. So let's go over it real quick. KH acts as a pH buffer. It resists changes in pH. If you have a KH lower than 1, then your tank's pH will be unprotected. That's when CO2 can be a problem, because CO2 makes water more acidic, so it lowers pH. If you don't have enough KH in the water, the pH will drop way too fast. That'll be awful for plants and fish. A good KH level ensures that even with CO2 at 30 ppm, which is common in a high-tech planted aquarium, pH will only drop by 1 point throughout the day. So you might start with a 7.5 pH and end up with a 6.5 by the end of the day. That level of change, it's not a problem for most fish. Guys, if you are enjoying this video, you'll probably like other videos in this channel. So remember to like and subscribe for more weekly content just like this. Fact number 3. Snails shell erosion. You might be fighting this issue right now. I've been fighting it for a while myself. And I was surprised to learn that it's not a calcium problem, but a pH problem. Everywhere I looked, it was always the same answer: calcium. But my GH and KH levels were fine. It was very confusing to me. And don't get me wrong, calcium is essential. Snails need it to grow their shells. If they don't have enough, the new shell will be thin and weak. But if you have fully grown snails, they shouldn't be affected that much. And they definitely shouldn't be showing this kind of erosion, because their shells are fully developed. If this is your case, check your pH levels. Anything lower than 7 could cause some significant damage. The reason behind this problem is that a snail's shell consists almost entirely of calcium. And calcium starts to dissolve at low pH levels. Usually, these things go hand to hand. If you want to raise pH, you add more minerals to the water, including calcium. So, if KH and GH levels are fine, then pH should be fine, right? Well, not always. There are many things that affect pH levels, including wood, aqua soil, and even CO2. So if you're having this issue right now, check the pH level. If it's low, find the cause, and you'll solve your problem. Fact number 4. An aquascaper must learn to enjoy the maintenance sessions. Maintenance is one of the main reasons why people quit this hobby. I think algae problems is the first one, but maintenance is pretty close up there. And I totally understand why. We have busy lives, and we want our aquariums to be something that we can contemplate and enjoy, instead of one more thing that we have to do. So there are two things that are essential to be able to enjoy maintenance sessions. The first one is to make it simple. Anything that you can set up that takes a little bit of work now, but that it will make maintenance easier in the long term, do it. That includes automatic water changes, a maintenance checklist, anything that you can think of. And the second thing that you need is to know how many aquariums you can manage. It's easy to get excited once you realize that you can keep a healthy planted aquarium. If we manage to do those two things, then we can enjoy the process, and maintenance sessions can become a relaxing and energizing experience. Fact number 5. New fish shouldn't be introduced to an aquarium if the CO2 system is on. As fish keepers, we know we need to acclimate new fish. And I don't mean floating the bag in your tank. That only acclimates them to the temperature of the new aquarium. But temperature is not the only parameter that matters. The new water might have a different pH. It might be hotter or softer. That's why we like using the drip acclimation method. and I'm sure you know all about it as well. But one thing that you might not be thinking about is CO2. When you buy new fish, you should think about this. How likely is it that the fish I'm buying have been kept in a high-tech aquascape? Very unlikely. So it's very unlikely that these new fish you're getting are going to be used to the CO2 levels that your tank has if you have a high-tech tank. High-tech aquariums can have CO2 levels of around 30 ppm, which is very different from a normal fish tank. That tends to be between 2 and 6 ppm. I'm sure you can see how that can be a problem. If you know you are buying new fish and you use CO2 injections, leave the CO2 system off for that day. That'll give the fish one day to adapt to all the other parameters, all the other changes, before they have to adapt to the new CO2 levels. If you're worried about the plants suffering without CO2, then turn off the lights as well. One day without light or CO2 will not harm your plants. Those were 5 aquascaping facts that you probably didn't know. But let me know in the comments. What are some of the facts that you have learned on your own aquascaping journey? See you all next week.